What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Reaper Report, where we dive deep into the most chilling crimes and the stories behind them. I'm your host, Lexi, and today we are starting with the two-part series on one of the most shocking and perplexing cases of recent years, the brutal stories of 4 University of Idaho students and the man accused of committing them, Bryan Kohberger. Buckle up, because this case is as twisted as it is tragic. But before we get into the gruesome details, let's take a moment to set the stage. Idaho is known as the Gem State, but not just because of its abundance of natural resources, also because of its serene landscapes. The community is pretty close-knit. The small town of Moscow is nestled in the Palace region, and the life typically revolves around the university. Its campus has deep-rooted traditions, over a century old, and its distinction all rooted around the land-grant research. And this is where dreams are built and future takes flight. That was until the dreams were shattered on the night of November 3rd. And it was on the early morning hours that Moscow woke up to the horrifying news of 4 young lives cut too short in the sanctuary of their own home. And this is where we're going to peel back the layers of this case, where we're going to uncover the victims' stories, the meticulous investigation, and the chilling suspect at the center of it all. Before we talk about the crime, we need to honor the victims. Kaylee Gonsalves, Madison Mogan, Xana Knodel, and Ethan Chapin. These were young, vibrant souls. Kaylee and Madison were lifelong best friends. In the pictures that are posted, you can see the life and the vitality that these beautiful ladies had. Xana was known for her sharp wit and bright smile. Ethan, he was the life of the party. He was a fun and loving guy who adored his siblings. They were at college just living their dreams. They had study sessions, parties, and they were making memories. And then everything changed. The night of November 12th was like any other. They were hanging out with friends and enjoying the weekend. And by the early hours of November 3rd, their lives were stolen in an act of pure evil. Moscow would never be the same. I'm sorry. I think it's Moscow, but I'm probably going to say it Moscow. Now, this is when the story is going to get even crazier. When the police first arrived at the house, they were met with some gruesome scenes. Blood was seeping through the walls. And this is where it shows that they were attacked pretty brutally. But at this time, you couldn't see any signs of forced entry. They didn't see a murder weapon, and they didn't really have any suspects at this point. And for weeks and weeks and weeks, the case seemed to be at a stall. The community was growing restless. The town was gripped with fear. And at this time, Reddit was full with the internet sleuths. Everybody was on there. They had all their theories. They were like, could it be this? Could it be that? But investigators were piecing together a puzzle. And they did have a first big break. What was it? Surveillance footage of a white Hyundai Elantra spotted near the crime scene. Dun dun dun! Then that clue linked everything back to who? Bryan Kohberger, a criminology PhD student at Washington State University, just a little short drive from the town. So you're probably like, yo, who is this dude, right? Okay, so let's take a look. Bryan. On the surface, he seems like an ordinary dude. He's a 28-year-old criminology student with a keen interest in criminology behavior. No big deal. Probably you should have an interest in that if you want to be a criminology major. Would make for like a good study. But let's go ahead and dig a little deeper, because if I'm looking at this guy, me being me, just looking at him, Ted Bundy Jr. Sorry. If you guys have listen to me, or if you're new here, go back and listen to my episode I did with Don't Get It Twisted. Bundy looks like a creep. Homeboy Bryan looks like Bundy Jr. Like I said, this guy exhibited strange and unsettling behavior. He was described by his peers as being socially awkward but highly intelligent. His classmates noted his obsession with studying serial killers. In fact, he even posted an online survey asking convicted criminals about their thought process during their crimes. Isn't that a little, yeah, bro, that's fucking weird. Don't do that. Don't ask them that. Leave them alone. They're in there for a reason. Don't talk to them. Stop it. Stop. Like, why are you talking to them? I don't understand. Like, if you think that unless you're trying to study them to like get them to like not kill people, unless like you're trying to prevent them to kill people, like that's one thing. But why, like, what other reason would you be doing to like ask them what is their thought process? Why is there such a morbid curiosity behind that? Like, I wouldn't ask my ex, like, what was going on through your head when you wanted to, just curious. No, I wouldn't. Sorry, we just need to take a breather. Okay, everyone, in through your nose. Sorry, that was a process. Anyway, after the murders, he allegedly returned to his studies as if nothing happened. Sir, what? But his behavior changed, obviously. Like, why wouldn't it? After you just unalived a whole bunch of people. Reports say that he was wearing his gloves in public and meticulously cleaned his car. Sir, for why? Was this guilt, paranoia, or just arrogance? I bet it was like a subconscious thing. Like, I bet he was sitting there like wearing his gloves and he was like, maybe nobody will see the blood. Maybe they'll low-key catch me. I bet he was wearing his gloves and he was like, you see how I wear my gloves? I'm a serial killer, very mindful, very demure. I'm wearing my gloves. I'm a killer now, Bella. Oh, Jesus, I cracked myself up. I'm sorry, that's horrible. Anyway, we may never know. This guy is crazy. Listen, I have to get a little wild sometimes because I'm never going to know what is in the minds of these killers' heads. But it is absolutely sick and twisted as to what he did. The investigators are trying to figure out what he was doing. They ended up catching him. This is going to be a two-parter. And like I said, we are going to dive into the evidence, what we can expect from the trial, because it is going to happen in 2025. We don't really know what his motive is. He didn't really leave he didn't leave a note. He's not really giving us a lot of reason. When he got caught, he wasn't really all crazy. I'm not really sure what ties he had to the girls. I don't know if he had a tie to the guy. Like, I don't know if it was like a dating situation. Like, looking at the girls, I don't know. And they seem to be like all just good friends. I don't know, because Ethan was Doodle's boyfriend. And there were also two other girls that were in the house, and those two weren't attacked. So it does look like it could have been a planned attack. As far as I know, they weren't charged in that. So I am really curious to see what is going on. It does say that the trial is scheduled to begin on August 11th of 2025. But like I said, we are going to dive into that more in part 2. It does say that they are seeking the death penalty. So that is wild. I will also be covering a little bit more on the death penalty, being from Texas. I did go to Sam Houston State University, and the prison that does execute the death penalty was like right next door to my college. So we'd love to dive into that. If anybody has any questions, please let me know. Love to answer those, but I hope that you have enjoyed this so far. Have a great rest of your day, and thank you so much for listening. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.